Welcome to Teach with Mr. Hawkins. Today's book is Verdi by Janell Cannon. Many of you will recognize that author's name from the Stella Luna books. Verdi's a great book. Verdi is a young yellow snake that is different than the other snakes that Verdi encounters in the jungle. They're old snakes, they've turned green, they're big, they're lazy, they're different. And there's kind of a generation gap going on in this story. And then something happens, Verdi gets in an accident, and Verdi gains some wisdom and perspective while healing from the injury. And the book really is about self-identity and acceptance of oneself. So it's a children's book that deals with some pretty heavy-duty themes if you choose to dig into it. So I think it's very worthwhile, even with older students, because you can then use those bigger issues to go from. This is a longer book. So if you're reading it with a younger class, it may be one of those ones that you have to do in chunks because it's a lot of text. Generally, the illustrations are really well done and students are very engaged in this book. If I'm following up this book with a younger class, I might ask them to compare Verdi's life stages with like a human's life stages. For example, what stage is Verdi like a teenager or like a child? Another follow-up question you could use is, what did you learn about respecting elders? Because there's 3 older snakes in the book that would be, a parallel to our elders in human society. Third question you could do is, what parts of your identity are you happy about, and what do you need to work on? The wording of that question you want to be careful with. It's not about self-shaming or body shaming or any sort of shaming. It's the idea of, you want students to recognize that while they may not, you want students to recognize that they need to accept themselves, and if it's something that they can set a reasonable goal to work on, that's fine, but you don't need to live your life trying to change everything about yourself either. So it's kind of a balance as an adult in those situations. Question 4 would be, Verdi was accepted by the younger snakes with no conditions. What about yourself? Do you want others to accept? I think that might be something about that you really enjoy collecting stamps, and you think that that's not something many people are into. Maybe you have an offbeat sense of humor. Maybe you really like doing a sport or activity that other people around you don't seem to be interested in. Those are valuable conversations to have. Sometimes you find out that that person sitting beside you also likes that thing you thought was so unusual and unacceptable about yourself. Question 5 works with older grades. There was a more recent than this book story featuring a narwhal character. And you could compare the 2 stories because there's actually a lot of plot overlap and similarity. And with an older audience, you could ask the students, can you make a case for a copyright lawsuit between the author of this book and the more recent narwhal story? And students enjoy digging into questions like that, and if it is there merit or is it a valid thing to question the copyright. That's the end of this episode of Teach with Mr. Hawkins. Hope you enjoyed the story. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Please subscribe. Thank you very much.